So I knew I was different when I was about 5 years old. You don't have to be hyper feminine to be a trans woman. When I was born, I had a cleft lip and palate, which essentially means that the roof of my mouth, my top lip, and part of my nose weren't fully formed.
You know, some people might say, oh, she's just a cross-dresser because she's on hormones, you know.
Cross-dressing and being trans is two completely different things. I've had guys who I've been intimate with who have said during sex that they've got a wife or a girlfriend or kids.
They're afraid to ask their partners, their wives,
Yeah.
their girlfriends to peg them, let's
Yeah.
say, or play with
Yeah.
their ass.
Exactly.
How would you describe the difference between taking control and dominating? Would you have any advice for men dating trans women, Lexi?
I came out to my class as being trans, but I had not changed anything. All I said was, I may look like a boy, but I am a girl. But I don't do that for other people, I do that for myself because I like the way that it feels.
Yeah. Hello everyone and welcome back to Trans Crush, the fun, spicy and educational podcast where every Thursday we dive deep into love, dating and stories of trans women. I'm your host Pevi and I'm so happy you are watching, you are listening, wherever you are. It means so much to me. Our guest today is Lexi. Hi Lexi, welcome to Trans Crush.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to get to know you and hear your story, and I'm sure you're going to inspire many of us today. So let's crush it, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Our statistics show that 69% of you are watching but not subscribing. This is the only time that I don't like the number 69. So make sure you go and subscribe right now to make sure you're going to have notifications about our future episodes. And the more of us, the better and exciting guests we will give you. So I have a traditional question on the show, which is the question, what makes you happy? To break the ice. So what makes you happy, Lexi?
What makes me happy? I would have to say my chosen family. The people who love me and respect me for who I am and who are always there for me no matter what. Like, I come from quite a small family with just my mum and my sister. So my chosen family consists of a mother, 4 sisters, 3 brothers, and a load of aunties as well. So I know if I ever need any of them, all I have to do is call them up or message them, and they'll be there for me no matter what. And I can honestly say, I am who I am now because of them, and I'm so grateful for all of them.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Where are you from?
So I'm from a little town called Bournemouth. I grew up there for 10 years until I moved to London. And it's a beautiful place. Like, I still go there quite often. And it's gorgeous. And I go every time. I love it.
And you say you've been in London past 10 years?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you do here?
So I moved here to study when I went to college. I studied hairdressing. For 3 years I've done that. And then worked in the hair salon for 1.5 years before deciding to leave. As much as I love it and it's very creative, which I am a creative person, hairdressing just wasn't the right career for me, which is fine. So after I left that, I'm now figuring out what the next best thing is.
I also know that you are a performer, right?
Yes.
I've seen you performing. How long have you been doing that?
About just over a year, actually.
Just over a year?
Yeah.
And what made you start performing and being on the stage? Yeah.
So most people will tell you that they love performing in school, in drama class, but I never did. I used to hate doing all of that kind of acting and all that. It was only when I started watching RuPaul's Drag Race that I started getting into it more. And then when I decided to do it last August, I didn't know where to begin on my own. So I decided to find a drag mother. which I did when I started working at a gay bar. And then when I eventually found my family, then they taught me, my mother and my sisters taught me what to do and how to be a performer. And then it all just started from there, and it's all been a crazy wild ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started performing after transitioning?
Yes.
Before transitioning, you didn't perform at all?
No.
No. Were there any signs of you performing as a kid?
No, not at
No.
all. No. No.
Lexi, when was the first moment when you realized you might be trans?
So there were actually two different moments for me. So I knew I was different when I was about 5 years old. Was never into any of the boys' toys. I always wanted to play with my sister's dolls and other what would be classed as girls' toys. And and when I was fast forward to 16 years old, and the first time I realized that I was trans was when I watched an actress called Laverne Cox on Orange is the New Black. And bearing in mind that was an 18 rated program and I was only 16. But I watched the first episode with her in it, and seeing a trans actress playing a trans character, and the story role that she played, it just brought everything in my head to like a clear vision that that's exactly who I am, because she was the first person I saw who was trans, who was like me, and I'm like, okay, that's who I am. Yeah.
And did you feel some sort of hope from watching the movie, or inspiration?
Yeah. So I've never met or seen anyone else who was trans before that moment. So by seeing her and other trans actors on TV and in the media, it just brought to me that I wasn't the only one. I wasn't alone. What I wasn't strange or weird. It was quite normal, and I got to express who I was through that.
And this time you had no trans friends? No. So the only representation was from media?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So everything I learned for the first 5 years was from TV or YouTube or watching my mother do her makeup as well. But I never knew anyone else who was never knew anyone who was gay. Never mind trans.
Wow.
So in the first 5 years of my transition, I'd done it all on my own, essentially, with a bit of help from my mother, which I'm appreciative for. But it was only in the last year or so when I met everyone I know now, that taught me what I know now. Yeah.
And so you came out as a trans woman 5 years ago?
Yes. When
Yeah.
I was
How was your
16.
coming out story? How did you do that?
I mean, some people may see it as the coward's way of doing it. I don't like confrontation. I don't like to talk about personal things, really. I'm not that kind of person. So when I decided to, I came out at college first. I was doing 3 years there. My first year, I came out to my class as being trans, but I had not changed anything. All I said was, I may look like a boy, but I am a girl. And then they started calling me Lexi rather than my old name. And after my first year, during my summer holidays, I then decided to transition. I gave myself 6 weeks to do that, and then go back to my second year as myself.
Yeah.
Yes. When it came to my family, that was a completely different story, because I decided to send a message on WhatsApp, because we have a family group chat on WhatsApp, and I sent a long message on there, and after I sent it, I switched my phone off, and I put it away, and I did not look at it for the rest of the day, because I was scared about what their reaction would be. And
It's a great way to avoid anxiety.
yes, exactly, yeah, yeah.
I might start
So
using it. I might start doing it.
yes, so after about 4 or 5 hours, I then looked at my phone and saw all the messages and all the comments, and to my surprise, they were good actually. Some of my family members took a little bit longer to get used to it. I put it down to a generational thing. Slightly older members of my family took a bit longer.
Yeah.
But the majority of my family members were supportive and were fine with it.
Has there been like a biggest challenge of your life so far?
So far, other than transitioning itself, I would say when I was born, I had a cleft lip and palate, which essentially means that the roof of my mouth, my top lip, and part of my nose weren't fully formed. So because of that, I had to have a series of surgeries until the age of 10 to correct it. And because of that, I had issue with speech, and I had to have a lot of speech therapy because no one could understand the word I was saying for quite a few years of my life. A lot of sounds that I couldn't make out were really difficult, and that affected my confidence a lot. It made me chronically shy and very self-conscious, to the point where in primary school especially, I didn't have any friends. I found it difficult to talk to anyone, and I just kept to myself mainly, just because I was scared about what people would say, because I looked visually different back then, and I sounded different to everyone else. And when other kids don't understand, they make comments, which was also very difficult. But since then, I've had my speech therapy, and I've been able to learn all the sounds and the words that I couldn't make out. I can now, and people can understand me perfectly well. And then I've had a few cosmetic surgeries to change how I look visually. Like I've had my nose done, I've had filler in my lips, and that wasn't necessarily because of being born with that. I could have left it and been fine with it, but for myself to look in the mirror and to be happy on what I see, I wanted to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it cosmetics procedure just for this condition, let's say?
Yeah.
Or was it gender dysphoria? Was it like more feminine or both?
It was a bit of both actually. So when I got my nose done, I was quite lucky. The surgery that I got, because I had already transitioned. I only got my nose done this year.
It's lovely.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. So when I got it done, the surgeon obviously knew I was trans and said, well, change the way that your nose looks, as well as help with breathing, and also we can feminize it in the process. So that means I don't have to have two separate surgeries.
Perfect.
So yeah, and now I'm very happy with it.
Kill two birds in one stone.
Exactly.
Almost FFS.
Yeah.
With a nose job.
Yes.
Wow, that sounds like a lot. Like a lot, especially from someone who is a child. How many surgeries did you get?
About 7.
7 surgeries.
I actually had an extra one that I wasn't supposed to, because back when I was in Bournemouth, the surgeons that I had there weren't as experienced as the ones in London. So one of the surgeries I had, one of my last ones before moving to London, was incorrect. So when I moved to London and I was seen by another surgeon, he looked at my medical records and said, "This surgery is wrong. You should not have had it." So because of that, I had to have a correction. And after the correction, another surgery. But now, thankfully, I've done all of them, and now I'm on the other side of things, and I'm doing a lot better now.
That's amazing. I can't even imagine what you had to go through, and I assume you must have been bullied a lot. Were you bullied a lot?
Yes, I believe for a lot of things, obviously looking visually different, sounding different, but also being very effeminate. I was never a boy's boy. I was never a very masculine at all. Um, because I always had friends who were girls and wanted to do what the girls done. I was never into sports or football or anything like that. And I got bullied and teased a lot from other boys who didn't understand it, who thought I was gay. Um, and they bullied me for that because they didn't understand.
Yeah.
And I don't hold it against them now. Obviously, it was difficult at the time, yes, but I don't hold it against any of them because, just like me, they didn't understand.
Yeah.
They were ignorant to it.
Yeah.
So until they understand it, they're gonna make comments about that. And so now I know a lot more. I assume they do as well. So if they do come across anyone who is gay or trans, they're a lot more sensitive to it.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love what you just said with kids just being kind of kids and not knowing any better,
Yeah.
as we didn't. And as you grow and you learn and hopefully you become wiser
Yes,
as you
exactly.
age, you really start to realize that our differences are not something to our difference is not something to be laughed at or be bullied about.
Yes.
But I know in my experience I had the same experience being bullied for being too feminine.
Yes.
And I feel like especially around boys at school, if there is the one person or the one boy that is more feminine, it makes you an easy target.
Yes.
So you are more vulnerable and you are easy to be bullied or be laughed at.
Yes, exactly that, and that's exactly what happened to me, and I'm assuming what happened to a lot of other effeminate kids in school. Yeah.
Yeah. And how was your childhood in terms of education? Because did you spend lots of time in a hospital and surgeries, or let's say like the percentage of the school year, what percentage were you out of school because of the surgeries in hospitals?
So I was lucky in most of my surgeries were done during a school holiday, and the recovery period was short enough that I could recover and go back to school after the holidays and still not miss out on any learning, which I'm grateful for because I have difficulty learning. I have dyslexia at the moment. Like, I only just was diagnosed with it. So thankfully I wasn't out of school.
It's in your name.
Yeah,
Lexi.
yeah. But thankfully I wasn't out of school for too long. So yeah.
Yeah. And when you look back at your childhood and anything you've done, would you do anything differently?
You know what, it's funny you asked that because I actually thought about this the other day. I was talking to one of my sisters about it. And I said if I could go back and do school again, but as I am now, things would be so different. The things that I would be able to do, being who I am now, my school life would be so much happier. I wouldn't have all the difficulties I had. And sometimes I actually do wish I could go back and do it all over again.
Yeah.
Crazy as that might seem to other people, like, I know some people would hate the thought of going back to school, but if I could, I would, 100%. Yeah. It was a path that I went down, but it was only when I got to the end that was the wrong one.
Being a trans woman doesn't mean you need to have surgeries, you need to have hormones.
Because I can genuinely say now, I don't feel like I enjoyed the past 5 years of my transition. I don't think I really lived it.
What has transition taught you?
Transitioning has taught me that you don't have to be hyper feminine to be a trans woman. I, being 16 when I started, I didn't know any better, so what I saw from the media was hyper feminine trans women, actresses and people in TV shows and movies who were acting, which to me it didn't click
Mm-hmm.
because I thought they were being themselves, which they were, but they were being the heightened version of themselves because
Yeah.
they were on TV. So in my head, I thought I had to be hyper feminine
Mm-hmm.
in order to be seen as a woman and to be
Mm-hmm.
treated as a trans woman by
Mm-hmm.
not only just people but also the trans community
Mm-hmm.
in itself. And for the past 5 years, I tried my hardest to get to the hyper feminine person, the idea that I had in my head that I had to be, um, in order to be seen as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And when I eventually did get to that point, I got to the version in my head of what a woman should be.
Mm-hmm.
It was having the hair, the makeup, the outfits, always wearing heels, always being so graceful and poised all the time,
Mm-hmm.
never having a break.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when I got to that point a few months ago, I realized this is what I wanted. Actually, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was a path that I went
Mm-hmm.
down, but it was only when I got to the end that was the wrong one.
Right.
So now I'm sort of backtracking a little bit
Mm-hmm.
just to experience all the things that I rushed through.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can genuinely say now I don't feel like I enjoyed the past 5 years of my transition. I don't think I really lived it. Um, I feel like within the last year and a half, I've been immersed within the community, and I found my chosen family. I
Mm-hmm.
found performing. I found my community now, which I didn't have for
Mm-hmm.
so long, and I've done more living within the past year and a half than I have in the past 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
which is great, but I do regret not enjoying those past 5 years. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of going back now
Mm-hmm.
and reliving it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
How would you describe Lexi 5 years ago and Lexi now?
Lexi 5 years ago was rough,
Mm-hmm.
to put it simply. Um, I did not know a thing I was doing. Um, like I said before, everything I learnt was from social media or from YouTube, and a lot of the time, what you see content creators making is not always going to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it very difficult to find what works for me, um, because I thought, oh, if it works for them, it should work for me as
Mm-hmm.
well. And because my skin texture and my face shape is different to them, it doesn't. So it took me a very long time to figure out what will work for me and what works for my face shape and
Mm-hmm.
what kind of makeup works for my skin tone. And um, it was only, like I said, within the past year that I have really learned how to feminize my face with the makeup and the right clothes to suit my body type and to how to style my hair and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transition is such a journey because you come not just from like a different gender, but you also, from male to female, and then you're used to dressing certain way, looking certain way, and then you transition, and then you realize, oh my God, if you are brow, what kind of makeup, what kind of hair, how do hair straighteners
Yeah,
work, all of these
exactly.
things, they take some time to learn. And I know very well when I started transitioning in my first year, very rough as well.
Yeah.
You really want to prove the world that you are a woman, and the society that I'm a woman, and you really try to be super hyper feminine
Yeah.
before, in my case, before hormones, before any medical transition. Um, it was very crazy big eyelashes and big eyebrows and
Yes.
long wigs
Yeah.
and big earrings and high heels, even even when I went to the shop, always high heels, because I was like, yeah, a woman wears high heels.
Yep.
Exactly like
Exactly.
your case. Like,
Mm.
I need to look like this to be treated and respected and being presented as a woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Um, what you mentioned about having hormones and surgery, I'd like to just quickly go on to that.
Yeah.
Um, so starting transitioning, I thought hormones and surgery was the way to go, was the right path, because so many other trans people do that.
Yeah.
They have every surgery that's offered to them. They have the hormones, they have the therapy, and that works for them. And I thought I had to do that. It was only recently, within the last few months, that I realised I don't.
No.
And now, within only the last few weeks, I realised I've been going through this completely wrong, in terms of I don't want surgery. I don't want hormones. And I don't need it to be a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Louder for those in the back.
Yes.
It's so true. I really like what you said, and it's amazing. It's really refreshing to hear that from a young trans woman. That it's not your path, and that's completely valid. And we know that being a trans woman doesn't mean you need to have surgeries, you need to have hormones. I do. I have done surgeries. I have been on hormones for past 6 years, but it doesn't mean that I'm any more woman than you.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
it doesn't mean that that's how every trans woman should look, or how they choose their path
Yeah.
to go through hormones and through surgeries and anything. If it's not your thing and you don't want to do it, you don't have to,
Exactly.
for
Yeah.
anyone. And no one else should treat you less as a woman and be like, oh, you're not a woman until,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what I've realised recently, within the trans community itself, a lot of trans girls compete slightly, about who's on hormones, who had surgery, who looks more feminine, who, and I hate using this word, but who passes more.
Who does that?
So a lot of the trans girls that I know,
Right.
they say to be a trans woman, you have to have surgery and hormones, and you have to be able to pass, and you have to be able to do all of these things that makes a woman. For me, it doesn't. And these girls are a similar age to me, and learning this only recently, like, I don't need to have all of these things done in order to be a woman or to be treated like a woman. At the end of the day, I'm a person. Before gender, before identity, I am a human being, and I should be treated with respect. And who I say I am, you need to respect that, whether you believe it or not, whether you like it or not. You respect that, because I am a person. We are all people at the end of the day, and we all deserve respect no matter what.
Beautiful. I wouldn't say it better.
Yes.
Lexi, do you struggle with body dysmorphia, considering you're not on hormones? I'm wondering how it works for trans women if you are trans and you might experience gender dysphoria, body dysmorphia, and you choose not to be on hormones. How do you deal with that?
So what I've done is I've done two different ways, and the second way worked better for me, and that is the first way, because I'm not on hormones and my body is not a feminine figure. I use padding. I pad out my hips and my chest. Well, at least I used to. And I've done that every day. So, and then the clothes I would wear would feminize my waist, because I've got quite a slim waist, and my hips would, because I wear the padding, it would show more of a feminine figure in that way. And the same for my chest. What I'm doing now, which I feel a lot more comfortable with, is I don't pad out my chest anymore. I do things that makes me happy. When I look in the mirror, what makes me smile is not padding out my chest. It's wearing the clothes that I want to wear because I feel good in them, not because it makes me look more feminine. So I still do pad out my hips, yes, but that's because I like the way that it looks when I wear my clothes that I wear. When I stopped padding out my chest, that was actually quite difficult for me, because I've been doing that for 5 years. From the moment I started, I was padding to the full. the fullest extent of it. And when I decided this is not actually what I want to do, I don't mind being flat chested, which is fine because a lot of cis women are flat chested.
Yeah.
When I decided to do that, it was difficult because I was so used to padding out my chest. It was something in my brain that stopped me from not doing it. You know, because I was so used to the feeling of it, of something there, when I stopped, it felt wrong. Not in terms of like I needed to do it because of gender dysphoria or dysmorphia. It was because it was the feeling of it. It was like it was locked in my brain after 5 years of doing the same thing every day. I needed to change the way my brain thought of that. So now I don't, and I feel a lot more comfortable now not padding out my chest and being flat chested in all of my outfits. I feel a lot more confident now, a lot more myself than what I did before. I'm happy with my body.
Yeah.
The way that it is. I don't look in the mirror and I don't go, I hate this. I don't feel disgusted over it. A lot of trans girls that I know that I've spoken to about this say that they want to be to have the feminine curves. They want, for me to have feminine curves, I have to wear certain clothes and to wear the padding and to do these sorts of things. But I don't do that for other people. I do that for myself because I like the way that it feels.
Yeah.
I don't do anything to please anyone else or to make anyone else feel more comfortable. I do it because I want to.
Yeah.
So when it comes to my body, I don't feel any kind of dysphoria over that. There are certain aspects such as body hair, which I don't like whatsoever. I shave everything all the time.
Yeah.
But I can easily deal with that with laser hair removal. I
Yeah.
don't need to have hormones
Yeah.
to deal with that
Yeah.
situation. Or I would say the one thing, if anything, that I would change is my Adam's apple. Because that is quite an insecurity for me. I don't have any kind of issue with my face shape
Okay.
or my bone structure. I like it. If I could change anything, it would be to shave down my Adam's apple, and that would be it. I'd be happy with that. Yes.
Lexi, hearing your story, some people might say, "Ah, she's just a cross-dresser because she's on hormones. She doesn't have the surgery, all the reasons we just mentioned." What would you say to those people?
I would say it's a personal thing to you. Cross-dressing and being trans is two completely different things. Being trans is a sense of identity and who you are as a person inside, rather than cross-dressing is more presenting femininity on the outside. On the inside, I know I'm a woman. I don't necessarily need to look like a woman, have the body of a woman, to present that on the outside, because I know that. I know a lot of people might think, oh, she is just a cross-dresser, but to them, they don't know me. They don't know my story. They don't know what I've been through, what I've discovered about myself within the past 5 years. Until they sit down and talk to me, they won't know any of that. The most that anyone would actually know is from doing this with you today. A lot of people, I keep a lot of personal things to myself simply because it is that personal. If someone wants to ask me a question about it, I'm more than happy to answer that, just because that's how people learn. But cross-dressing is people who want to wear a dress and heels and a wig for a night and go out into Central and to have fun for the night, and then go home, take it all off and be who they are. I put on the makeup and I put on the jewelry and the heels because I want to present to the world that I'm a woman. I can do that with what I have, as in my makeup, my hair and my clothes. I don't need to do it with my body, not at all. But when I go home at night and I take everything off, I still feel like a woman. I've never once felt like a man. And so that's the clear difference for me, trans and cross-dresser, is when I take it all off, I still feel like a woman.
Yeah. Okay, last question before we go on Patreon and talk about dating and the spicy
Yes.
part of being trans. What are your hopes and dreams for future, Lexi?
So I will be starting studying fashion design.
Ooh.
It's something I've always been interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I never had the opportunity to study it when I was younger, but now I'm an adult, I can. So I've decided to go back to college and retrain and study in fashion design. And my end goal, which will take years in the making, but my end goal is to eventually have my own fashion business, to make clothes for celebrities and other trans women and drag queens and red carpet models, and that is my dream, to do that. Yeah.
Like a red carpet gown?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait to see you shining and growing and
Yes.
being a fashion designer.
Thank
How
you.
exciting. I'll be
Yeah.
crossing all my fingers for you.
Thank you.
And on that note, we're going to finish today. Thank you so much, Lexi, for sharing your story with us, for being so open and vulnerable. And as you said, you don't really talk about your private life and you don't really like to open up. And I appreciate it so much that you did today with us. And I'm sure you inspired many of us, including me. And I wish you all the best with your fashion business and your private life, and keep shining.
Thank you so much for having me. I've had an amazing time with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, that was all for today. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and the conversation doesn't end here. Go on patreon.com/transcrush, where me and Lexi will talk about her dating life and more. Are you stuck in traffic? Are you in a rush? Just slow down and tune into Transcrush. Take care. You know, guys really just want some quick fun. They just want sex, they just want the pictures.
Yeah.
Then they have a wank and you're not important anymore,
Exactly,
right?
yeah. I can pay for a hotel. We can go meet and have sex, or I can meet you at a club or a bar somewhere. And I've had guys who I've been intimate with who have said during sex that they've got a wife or a girlfriend or kids.
Yes.
The amount of guys who are literally just like, okay, I'm finished, I'm going now, get dressed and leave. I'm like, well, is that it? Is that all I'm good for?
They're afraid to ask their partners, their wives,
Yeah.
their girlfriends to pack them, let's
Yeah.
say, or play with
Yeah.
their ass.
Exactly, because I don't get pleasure from bottoming, not anymore anyway. I used to, not anymore.
Gosh, you got all the 20s ahead.
Yes.
So many lessons to learn.
Yeah.